Aloha, this is Reverend Blayne Higa of the Kona Hongwanji Buddhist Temple. Thank you for joining me as we take a moment to hear the Dharma and to celebrate the working of wisdom and compassion in our lives. As we begin, I invite you to light a candle and to offer incense either at your home altar or someplace near you. The soft glow of candlelight and the smell of incense helps to prepare our hearts and minds to receive the Dharma together. Light is a symbol of wisdom that illuminates our lives and dispels the darkness of greed, anger, and ignorance. Flowers that adorn our altar represent the beautiful yet impermanent nature of life, and the offering of incense is an act of gratitude and is a symbol of purification. Please join me in Gasho as I offer incense, and let's recite the Buddha's name together. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. We will begin with the Vandana and Tisarana, an ancient chant in which we praise the Buddha and take refuge in the three treasures of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In taking refuge together, we join with Buddhists from around the world as disciples of Buddha. Please join me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. I would like to begin by offering my heartfelt thanks to all the frontline and essential workers that have been risking their lives to help others. From the healthcare and government workers to the grocery store clerks, your dedication and sacrifices are greatly appreciated, and I urge everyone to help by doing our part to flatten the curve. Please stay home as much as possible. We will only get through this if we all work together and realize that our actions are not just about ourselves, but are truly about how our actions affect others. This is a time for us to care for each other as one ohana, with the spirit of aloha. As we begin the second full month of our statewide stay-at-home order, many of us are feeling tired and restless and discouraged. I know I've had days where I struggle to stay focused or simply didn't want to get off the couch. However, what keeps me going is my faith in the Nembutsu and how each of us receives the Buddha's compassion equally without exception. There's a story from the time of Shinran's when he was criticized by some of his fellow disciples for claiming that his Nembutsu was the same as their teacher, Honen. The other disciples were shocked to hear that anyone would have the audacity to compare their Nembutsu with that of their revered master. It would seem reasonable to think that the Nembutsu said by this great master would somehow be more special than the Nembutsu said by his students or anyone else. However, to the surprise of the other disciples, Honen agreed with Shinran because he understood that the true Nembutsu is given to us by Amida Buddha and thus cannot be owned by anyone because it is equally shared by all. According to Shinran, Namo Amida Butsu is the name of the vow embodying great love and great compassion, which brings all sentient beings into the supreme nirvana. This means we constantly receive great love and compassion from the Buddha, and our saying of Namo Amida Butsu is the affirmation of this. Saying the name is our acceptance of receiving true and real love, and is the acknowledgement of our profound connection to one another. It is because we are equally embraced and we receive this activity of love and compassion that we are all fellow travelers along the journey of life. Shinran believed that Amida's great vow of universal compassion does not discriminate between the noble or humble, the priest or the layperson, men or women, old or young, or any other category that would separate or divide us. Each of us receives Namo Amida Butsu freely and equally because we are enough, that our humble and imperfect lives are truly worthy of being sustained, supported, and embraced by the dynamic wisdom and compassion of the Buddha. What an amazing gift it is to live with the knowledge that we are never alone. What an amazing gift it is to receive unconditional love just for being ourselves. It is this acceptance which heals, which transforms, and gives us hope. Because the Nembutsu is Amida's gift to us, we can live secure in the knowledge that our enlightenment is assured and that we will someday become part of this dynamic activity of wisdom and compassion when our human lives are fulfilled. This is why, within our tradition, our services are in praise of the Buddha's virtues and the unlimited compassion and love which liberates us from suffering. The Nembutsu is boundless love and compassion which is always present in our lives. We are embraced and sustained by its light in times of both joy and sorrow. The Nembutsu is our comfort when we are sad, it is our strength when we need courage, and it is our light when all other lights go out. One of my favorite stories about the power of the Nembutsu comes from a book written by Reverend Marvin Harada from the Orange County Buddhist Church and the current bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America. In his book, Discovering Buddhism in Everyday Life, Reverend Harada shares a lesson from his teacher, Reverend Ashikaga, who in turn learned it from his teacher, Yasuda Sensei, who once said, "Many people think that the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, means something like this, that you take a big load off your shoulders, like a big backpack, and you sit down and you let out a big sigh of relief. That's what people think Namo Amida Butsu means, that you relax and feel relieved with a burden lifted from your shoulders. But I don't think that's what Namo Amida Butsu means. I think Namo Amida Butsu means the opposite, that instead you put on a big load on your shoulders, a big responsibility or task, and now you have the power to stand up on your own 2 feet and to move forward in life. That, to me, is what Namo Amida Butsu means. Reverend Harada goes on to say, if we find the teachings of Buddhism and Jodo Shinshu to be of value to us in our lives, if we find that the Nembutsu has illuminated our hearts and minds, then we must do what we can to allow it to be shared and carried on by others. That is the power to stand up and to move forward. It is a power that comes from beyond our own ego self. It is a power that makes the load on our shoulders lighter than what it really is. It is a power that not only allows us to stand up on our own 2 feet, but somehow it feels as if it is pushing us up from behind. I reflect on this story often, and I find it meaningful and helpful to me as I face the challenges of life with greater acceptance and courage. Namo Amida Butsu. Such simple words of hope that remind us to see life clearly with profound joy and optimism in every moment. And it seems like we need this message of hope even more in our troubled world today. The Nembutsu is our answer. Namo Amida Butsu is the Buddha's words of wisdom which call us home to love and lights our way in the darkness. In a poem, Shinran describes the name as, "It is a great torch in the long night of ignorance. Do not sorrow that your eyes of wisdom are dark. It is a ship on the vast ocean of birth and death. Do not grieve that your obstructions of karmic evil are heavy." And so remember that the Nembutsu is a light for all times, in all places, for our whole lives, because love and compassion are always with us, lighting our way. This is why I rely on the Nembutsu to give me hope in our darkened world. May we always hold fast to the name to give us courage and strength to face each moment of this unpredictable, unrepeatable, and impermanent life. In closing, I would like to share with you a song written and performed by the group The Cherry Blossoms called Namo Amida Butsu. Take a moment to close your eyes and to breathe and to listen to the beautiful voices of my friends Miko, Lisa, and Emily, and hear, truly hear their profound words of hope. The song Namo Amida Butsu by the Cherry Blossoms.
We close our eyes, remember all that we have. Our hearts will feel a brighter day. We'll sing Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu. Sometimes we get overwhelmed
May Amida's light of compassion give you comfort and peace always. We will conclude with the singing of the Nembutsu. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you very much for listening. Please join us next week for a video message by Reverend Shindo Nishiyama, Rimban of Hilo Hongwanji. Mahalo.